We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Sokoto State Government denies allegations of plot to depose Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III. Gombe State Police Command parades village head and councillor over alleged theft and sale of a community transformer. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, reports over 1,528 suspected cases of cholera in 31 states, with Lagos recording 500. I am Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. The Sokoto State Government has denied allegations by the Muslim Rights Council Murik for plotting to depose His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III. Recall that the Executive Director of the Muslim Rights Council, Professor Isiaq Akintola, had on Monday raised alarm that Sokoto State Government was plotting to depose His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto against the backdrop of the happenings in Kano. Murik in a statement cited the removal of 15 traditional rulers for various offenses. Akintola in a statement further warned that Muslim Ummah in Nigeria would reject and resist any hostile actions against the Sultan, who happened to be the spiritual leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. The Islamic organization, however, expressed concern over the alleged sour relationship between the state government and the Sultan. The organization said the pedestal of the Sultan of Sokoto was not only traditional but also religious, noting that the Sultan doubles as the head of the Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. Meanwhile, the Sokoto State Commissioner for Information and Societal Reorientation, Honorable Sambo Bello Denchadi, in a swift reaction on Tuesday, said the state government has no plan whatsoever to dethrone the revered monarch, while describing the allegation by Murik as false and baseless. Sambo explained that the law guiding the appointment and disposition of traditional rulers in the state had not been changed or even repealed. The Gombe State Police Command has paraded the village head of Garin Majindadi in Akko local government area and a councillor representing Kumo East in the same local government over an alleged theft and sale of a community transformer. The village head, Muhammad Majindadi, along with the councillor Abdullahi Panda and one Muhammad Sani of Serkin Yaki quarters, were arrested for allegedly stealing and selling the transformer that served their community. While parading the suspects, the police public relations officer, ASP Buhari Abdullahi, said credible intelligence reports from Akko Division led to the arrest of the suspects and the recovery of the stolen transformer from Garin Majindadi village. During the investigation, it was discovered that the transformer was sold to one Bello Ardo Kumo at 1.5 million naira. ASP Buhari confirmed that the transformer had been recovered, but investigation was ongoing. He assured that the suspects will be charged to court upon the conclusion of investigation. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) has reported over 1,528 suspected cases of cholera in 31 states, with Lagos recording 500 suspected cases amid concerns over the country's preparedness to contain the outbreak, which has been blamed on the consumption of contaminated water and inadequate sanitation. Clearview's Florence Joshua highlights on the daredevil disease called cholera.
Cholera, a waterborne disease, is often linked to extreme poverty, poor sanitation, and inadequate access to clean water. The onset of the rainy season has exacerbated the situation, leading to flooding and compromised water sources. According to the chairman of the Forum of Health Commissioners of Nigeria, Dr. Oyebanje Filani, the cholera vaccine has not been received by any state despite the outbreak of the disease. Instead, the focus has been on prevention and quick treatment for those who contract the disease. The cholera outbreak has been worsened by environmental factors including poor waste management, inadequate water supply, and lack of access to health care. Meanwhile, the government has urged citizens to take precautions to prevent the spread of the disease. Health experts have also advised that prevention is key to containing the outbreak by maintaining good hygiene practices, avoiding contaminated water, and seeking good prompt treatment.
And in security, the Nigerian army has been ranked 39th out of 145 countries assessed in the Global Firepower Index of 2024 in terms of military strength and capabilities. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, made the disclosure at a press briefing to herald activities lined up for the Nigerian Army Day celebration 2024 in Abuja. Lagbaja noted that despite the various security challenges facing the country, the Nigerian army has persevered in maintaining peace and security and also made significant contributions to all sectors of national development. The report. As part of activities to mark the 2024 Nigerian Army Day celebration, the Nigerian Army High Command organized this press conference to usher in the lineup of activities for the week-long event. Speaking at the event, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, said the Nigerian Army, which dates back to 1863, when Lieutenant Glover of the Royal Navy organized 18 indigenes of northern Nigeria into a local force known as the Glover Hausas, has evolved into one of the greatest armies in the world, with capacity to defend the country and maintain peace and security, despite the myriad of security challenges facing the country. Lagbaja was represented by Chief of Army, Policy and Plans, Major General Abdulsalami Ibrahim.
The challenges faced by the Nigerian Army over the past 161 years notwithstanding, the Army has preserved and grown to be the 39th ranked country out of 145 countries assessed in the Global Firepower Index of 2024. The Nigerian Army has also made significant contributions to national development and progress in several areas such as security, education, engineering, health, science, sports, and many other spheres. It is in due to this accomplishment we always seize the opportunity presented by the period culminating into 6 July to celebrate and give glory to the Almighty God.
He added that the activities lined up for this year's celebration are in consonance with the Chief of Army Staff's command philosophy of transforming the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, equipped and highly motivated force aimed at achieving its constitutional responsibility within a joint environment.
The Nigerian Army Day celebration aims to showcase the Army as an instrument of national unity, integration and development, as well as highlight the achievements, capabilities and enduring reputation of the Nigerian Army. The theme for this year's Nigerian Army Day celebration is transforming the Nigerian Army, imperative for combating contemporary security challenges within a joint environment. The theme was carefully selected considering the significance of transformation for combat readiness and proficiency towards attaining a robust national security that supports economic prosperity and resilient democracy in accordance with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. The Nigerian Army Day celebration, which is hosted annually in a selected state, was first celebrated in 1978 in Lagos. Plateau State was selected for this year's celebration, and the executive governor of the state has graciously accepted to host the Nigerian Army. It is instructive to state that 3 Division, which is one of the oldest divisions in the Nigerian Army, is the host formation for this year's Nigerian Army Day celebration.
Activities lined up to mark the 2024 Nigerian Army Day celebration include special Jumat prayers and interdenominational church services, speaking engagements to secondary schools, free medical outreaches, commissioning of quick impact projects within the host community to elicit their support and cooperation, a special lecture, and the maiden Chief of Army Staff literary competition, among others. Some female journalists have identified sexual harassment, insecurity, discrimination, name-calling such as prostitutes, threats by family members, lack of prospects like their male colleagues, and unfriendly maternity conditions as some of the challenges mitigating against the realization of their full potentials. Clearview News correspondent met with these female journalists in Abuja and now brings us details.
Findings have shown that Nigerian female journalists experience different types of gender unsafely, including discrimination in news gathering, production, and sexual harassment. Some female journalists who spoke with Clearview News crew, while narrating some of the challenges they experience in the field, said female journalists are clustered in the soft beat than their male counterparts.
When it comes to getting the right people to interview, you discover that some of them might be asking for your own body. Especially when you talk about politicians and the well-to-do in the society, they will want to take something from you first before giving you what you request from them. So it's come as a challenge to me that sometimes I really look at it that, is it really meant for the ladies? Because we expose ourselves, and when it comes to marriage, thank God I'm married, when it comes to marriage, you discover that it's really causing delay in our part. Because so many suitors that will come your way will look at you as a prostitute because of the kind of people you are exposed to, the kind of people you meet in the society, you are connected to this, to that, because of the beats you covered. So at the end of it, when your right suitor will now come to you and somebody will now say, this guy, this lady, I saw her there, it's possible this guy is dating her and all those stuff. So it might change the mindset of your soon-to-be suitor.
That I'm not married, it doesn't mean because I'm a journalist. No, it just means that my time has not yet come. It has nothing to do with the kind of job I do. And for them to say that maybe because you're practicing journalism, you are more exposed. I think for me, I look at it from the point of view that those men are intimidated.
So issue of security to some extent is one area that is a challenge for women journalists, yeah? And we have also newsroom segregation. They'll tell you that only special stories like women and children, they'll tell you that those are the kind of stories that women should do. In the field, we also meet harassment.
When I wasn't married, it was still the same thing. I leave my house as early as 6, and I don't return till 9, 10 then. I still balance everything. But when you now kind of hear people say certain things, oh, because she's not married, that's why you see her doing certain things outside with some men or whatever. Even the married ones at times they do it.
The woman, you go for 1 week, they say, you look at the married woman, she left because she's a which kind of assignment, she's the only one doing it. But for a man, nobody hears her. Another challenge is that when you get to a place, they first of all assess you. They assess you to know if it is somebody that maybe they can tell you, okay, we are meeting somewhere, or maybe giving you an appointment off the camera to meet somewhere. This sexual abuse too and harassment is very, very common.
Marriage and motherhood are the dominant factors creating class ceilings for women journalists working in the Nigerian news media. So, how can there be a balance in all of this?
You understand? So it's about trust, it's about believing in having a partner that believes in your dream. Because your passion as a journalist, a female journalist, is supposed to, it's not supposed to be just inherent. People are supposed to see it. Hence, your partner can easily key into that. I know days that I will not be able to do certain wifely duties or motherly duties at home, and then my husband steps in. Sometimes if it's more than him, he'll be like, please let me call grandma.
Yes, all thanks to my husband, because he's this kind of man that understands what the job is like. Even before I take up this responsibility as a journalist, he told me the intros, he told me what it takes to be a journalist. And I told him, what if we have to close late? He said, I understand what it is. And one thing is, what I want to tell people out there is trust. Once your husband, your spouse trusts you, there's no way, even if you tell him you're going to be closing by 12, by 1 a.m., he will understand. And because of the level of trust he has in you, he will not be able to doubt where you are. So I tried as much as possible. Whenever I have the time, whenever I'm around, I take care of my children, I do the needful.
As a female journalist, if you are married, you should be able to balance, as in the home and the job.
Gender-based discrimination, sexual harassment and sexism are rife in Nigerian news companies, and many organizations do not have policies and frameworks to address them. Experts say gender-based discrimination, sexual harassment and sexism are rife in Nigerian news companies, and many organizations do not have policies and frameworks to address them. The few who handle sexual harassment complaints do so unofficially and off the records. Imefonokun reporting for Clearview News.
Moving on to sports, Euro 2024 was off to a great start, with match day 1 producing fantastic football experience, great goals, unbelievable upsets, and just one goalless draw. As the knockout stage begins, tournament hosts Germany are already through to the next round and will be joined by Spain, who impressively sealed a top spot in what looked like a tough Group B with a game to spare. Our correspondent tells us more.
With just 26 games into the tournament and 14 already on board, it has been an experience of more goals from outside the penalty area compared to the 2022 World Cup. As the Euro 2024 progresses into the final week of group stage matches, we shall be seeing some teams crop out of the picture in the course of the week. The 24-team format gives the competition an initial round-robin phase of 6 groups of 4, while the top 2 in each section automatically qualifies for the round of 16, with the best 4 third-place teams making up the remaining sides in the first knockout phase. From that point on, the tournament is a straight knockout competition with 30 minutes of extra time and a penalty shootout after any draw game at full time. So far, the teams that have been knocked out of the competition are Scotland, Poland, Albania, and Croatia. Meanwhile, this weekend matches will be knockout showdowns across the board, meaning teams are one poor performance away from going home. On the other hand, Poland, who has already been eliminated from the tournament following defeats to the Netherlands and Austria, are set to clash in their final Euro 2024 Group B match at Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund on Tuesday, 25th June against France, while contrasting fortunes at stake for both teams. Eunice Ella is reporting for Clearview News.
If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed a top general after public criticism about excessive casualties and accusations of incompetence. Lieutenant General Yuri Sodor had been in the post of commander of the joint forces of the armed forces of Ukraine since earlier this year. Only hours before, the chief of staff of the Azov Brigade, Major Bodhan Kryotrev, filed a complaint to the State Bureau of Investigation, alleging that General Sodor had more Ukrainian soldiers killed than any Russian general. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Andriy Hantov has now been appointed in his stead. However, Mr. Zelensky did not give a reason for his decision, which he announced during his nightly video address on Monday. And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. The Sokoto state government has denied allegations by the Muslim Rights Council Murik of plotting to depose His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III. The Gombe State Police Command has paraded the village head of Garimajin Dadi in Akko local government area and a councillor representing Kumo East in the same local government area over an alleged theft and sale of a community transformer. We also told you that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has reported over 1,528 suspected cases of cholera in 31 states, with Lagos recording 500,000 suspected cases amid concerns over the country's preparedness to contain the outbreak. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for joining us. I am Gloria Atta. Bye for now.
We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.